And welcome to HirePresence. I'm your host, Patrick Dewar. We have a great show for you today. Today's show, HirePresence, is all about giving the job seekers out there some tools and techniques to separate themselves from the masses that are applying to get a job somewhere in the U.S. Today, I've brought a special guest on that's really an expert at what I'll call marketing, but I want you to hear personal promotion, getting yourself and your name out there and making sure that you're the obvious answer for the solution or the problem that most employers have. Most employers want a resource, not a new mouth to feed. So with that in mind, Scott Tucker started his self-employed life when he was 12, 13 years old, mowing houses in the area. Just started something to create a revenue stream. He's been a product manager and a consultant. Recently, he started a thing called No Business
No Boundaries Business,
No Boundaries Business
Radio.
No Boundaries Business Radio. And with that, I'm going to welcome Scott. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Hey, not a problem, Pat. Glad to be here.
It's one of those tongue twisters. I mean, why did you come up with something like no, whatever? No, I'm thankful. You know, one of the things that's really important right now is that the listeners, the viewers, get some ideas on how to separate themselves. And one of the thoughts that we were talking about beforehand, before we went on the air, we were talking about, what if I took Scott, gave him a master marketer, promoter of himself in the last several years, but if he was unemployed, if he had just gotten a layoff, what would he do to begin to secure a prominent position in another company, or to even generate revenue while he's in that transition, as it's so affectionately called? So Scott, let's start with that. And maybe, you know, if you want, tell a little bit more about your story, but then I want to get into that whole idea of what if we threw you into the snake pit and said, go.
Well, and honestly, just, last year, I was in that snake pit right before I started the radio station and went into the coaching side of things. That's where I was at. I'd spent 15 years in management, project management, large-scale restoration, and consulting. And I found myself last spring in a situation where I had to promote myself.
Right.
I'd finished up with one company. I realized I was tired of being on the road. I was gone constantly. I was in, 14 airports and put in 160 hours in 12 days and said, there's got to be something more to this. And the corporate world was somewhere that I needed to be, though. I needed those corporate contacts. I needed to be involved with the bigger businesses. And I had to find a way to get myself into those large companies. The way I did that was through marketing myself. It's, a lot of the people that I work with talk about branding. And we work with a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs to talk about branding your business. Branding yourself is just as important as branding your business. One of the things that I would really tell everybody that's looking for employment right now is when you set yourself apart from other people, it's doing it through technology. If you are not, a standard resume, somebody fax a resume or mail, even certified mail, it doesn't cut it anymore. Nobody wants to see the plain Jane paper. Several years ago, back before social media was popular, when I would send out my resumes, I would send out links to every or when it was just getting started, LinkedIn, when Facebook was just getting started, everywhere that I had a professional reference, I sent a link on my resume. Nowadays, you can go into many other realms, but you have to include technology and you have to make it look like you're everywhere. One of my personal coaching programs is celebritize yourself. And we teach people what you do is you become a celebrity, because celebrities make more than anybody and they automatically get the credit of being an expert.
Right.
So when you celebritize yourself as someone trying to get employed with another company, you have to make it to where your presence, is known everywhere. And if you have, your Facebook page, if you have a business Facebook page, your LinkedIn, have it done completely professional, or get a video resume or some sort of video out there about yourself. If someone can click on a link and go to a video, you begin to build the know, like, and trust, which in business we have to form if we want to make sales. But if you're trying to seek employment, you build a know, like, and trust. If I was coming to you saying, hey Pat, I want to get to work with you, and I said, click this link right here and let's get to know each other, and you click on that link, what it does is you see my face, you hear my voice inflection, you hear the passion in my voice, and you begin to build a relationship. Using technology that is available for free, you can get a YouTube channel for free. Utilize every bit of technology that you can to get your presence out there and show the potential employers that you are above and beyond the rest. And that's
one of the things that I'm hearing in there, and this is really important, is that you need to find a way to create a separation of who you are, what you are in the marketplace. You need to really make sure you know your strengths. And I know that as we move forward into this next break, we'll be right back with more of HirePresence.